Libraries are increasingly moving into spaces that sound, a little unorthodox or a little like not what you would expect from, books and journals, but it's still information. It's still transfer of knowledge, and additive manufacturing, 3D printing, sewing, things like that, that's still an exchange of knowledge, and it's still an exchange of ideas. And libraries being the sort of heartbeat of a university, that's the Maker Cart really fits in with that prototyping and thinking and designing, but it's that community sort of exchange of ideas.
The School of Engineering had provided a $5,000 grant for us to purchase technology, however we defined it, that is going to help students. We decided we wanted to set up a Maker Cart program. And the $5,000 grant went a long way in purchasing 3D printers, Arduino kits, things like Raspberry Pis, tool kits, electronics kits, soldering iron kits, and things like that.
Your car has probably over 30 or 45 little sensors like those Arduinos on them. If you think about Arduinos or Raspberry Pis, it's like the sensors that are on modern cars, or small computers that you can do to run a really specific task. There's over 20 makerspaces on Stanford's campus. But the thing about most of those other spaces is that they're not designed to loan materials out. They're not open to any member of the Stanford community. You tend to have to either pay a registration fee, or you have to be a part of that lab. When everything kind of closed down in March of 2020, one of the things that people noticed was I still need to design or prototype some things, and I can't do that anymore.
I started hearing students express the need to actually prototype parts of their projects, and thankfully we had created a structure around the mobile Maker Cart because we had an operating procedure. We had determined what kind of training people need to complete before they check it out.
There were some kind of interesting types of snafus that we experienced. We did also got a lot of feedback from the students.
The first student who came to pick it up showed up with a sedan, and our mobile Maker Cart version 1 would not fit.
We wanted to get a cart that we could put toolboxes onto and stack them. So therefore the student could take as many toolboxes as he wanted, but then there would be a cart for them to transport the actual equipment. Part of the uniqueness of our program is that we are not only checking out equipment to students, but we're also providing design, technical support, as well as ongoing support.
I was interested in bringing some new technologies into the Wiseman lab to approach biological questions from a slightly different angle. This entails building some microscopes to look at bacteria and building some prosthetic molds to help to think about transplants in new ways. So all I did was send an email to Michael, Joseph, and Zach. It's been a fantastic experience. It was really that easy. And so this kind of activity and this kind of process has allowed me to really further my education at an extremely rapid pace due to the support that's built into the library infrastructure, as well as just the plethora of online resources. It allows you to do experiments and continue to do science in the background, even in a pandemic. So your productivity never really goes below what it would have been outside of a pandemic. That's a huge blessing because it allows you to keep innovating and keep creating even when everything else is seemingly falling apart around you.
At some point, we had news articles in the Stanford Daily and in other publications around campus that featured our mobile Maker Cart in addition to other makerspaces on campus. And that must have caught the attention of these young kids at Lucille Packard Hospital who are in the process of setting up a pilot to continue doing the makerspace that had previously run in the hospital, but due to COVID, they were not able to congregate, and they couldn't allow the patients to gather around the lab. And so these high school students decided that they want to try a making at a distance project. And they didn't have 3D printing, they didn't have a process, and they realized that they could use our mobile maker cart to pilot their project. And so they reached out to us. We've taught them how to set up the 3D printing, how to fix some problems, and how to educate the students who are, the kids who are sending them the files about the designs and how to make sure they can print correctly.
Our partnership started with a patient who was diagnosed with leukemia when he started high school, and he was treated at LPCH. He got really tired during that first month when he was in the hospital of Netflix. He was constantly watching Netflix or doing other things in his sort of isolation, and it really didn't work for him. He needed something else to wrap his brain around, as it were. And so he got involved with a maker therapy program where he was allowed to print some 3D objects, and it really was exciting for him. So when he was released from the hospital, he went home and he said, I need to do this for other patients.
My name is Suvi Bajaj, and I'm a leukemia survivor and the founder of the Maker Channel. I founded the Maker Channel to teach hospital patients the necessary 3D modeling skills to create and print whatever their imagination desires. I had always wanted to experiment with the 3D printer, so when I heard that Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, Stanford, had a makerspace, I was extremely excited. Drove me out of my room frequently during my treatment, and I would just try printing out various creations that I downloaded from the internet. However, what I really wanted to do was try making my own creations, but unfortunately at the time, I did not have those necessary 3D modeling skills. But fortunately, I was able to take an engineering class during my sophomore year of high school, where I learned those foundational CAD skills. And I thought it might be helpful to share those skills with other patients who might want to make their own creations. In addition, there is also a community forum that patients can use to interact with each other and connect on a social and emotional level to sharing their passion for 3D modeling. I hope that my website will bring patients solace from their treatment.
Because of COVID and because we couldn't bring the students onto campus, we had them work with Joseph to send their files, their Fusion 360 files, to Joseph. And then Joseph printed them at the library. Then he mailed them back out, and I distributed them to the kids. I never would have imagined that we'd have a partnership between the SciAC program at the Children's Cancer Center and the libraries, especially the engineering library. It just never would have occurred to me. I think it's one of those lucky things where you just reach out, somebody responds, and you've got a match. And I've been working with Joseph, and Joseph's got all the energy in the world, and these kids have responded to that, and it's really helped them move forward. These librarians have so much content knowledge, but they're also really, really motivated to work with their clients, to get to know them, to help them, and it's certainly happened in this collaboration. I mean, Joseph has jumped out of the walls of the library to meet these kids where they are and to help them, and I think that that's something that we all want to see continue.
Partnering with Lucille Packard Children's Hospital has been very uplifting for me. These are young kids with real brilliant ideas and who just need a little help to be confident about trying out new things. And in fact, they want to support other kids. And so supporting them just amplifies our effort.
One of the things that we're really pleased about is seeing some of the community response and thinking about how we can serve faculty and students within not just engineering, but across the campus and to other external people. I think it's part of the mantra of why Stanford Libraries exists, and the things that we like to do as librarians and other information professionals, and I think that's just a really wonderful thing.